Welcome to the Deep Dive, where we take your sources, dig deep, and really unearth the most fascinating insights.
That's the goal.
Today, we're plunging into a really rich narrative. I mean, a truly epic tale. It's about this young martial artist facing, well, profound betrayal, some crippling injuries, and some really, truly unexpected alliances.
Yeah, it's quite the roller coaster.
Our mission for this deep dive, it's to guide you through the intricate journey of Ling Hu Chong. We want to explore how his character is forged, not just through martial arts mastery, which is cool, but through these deeply personal trials and surprising connections.
Exactly. We'll show you how shifting perceptions, hidden agendas, and these really profound personal choices shape his destiny.
And constantly blurring those lines, right, between what's seen as good and evil in his world.
That's right. You'll find that in this deep dive, those traditional labels, righteous, demonic, they often just fall away, revealing a much more complex tapestry of loyalty, hypocrisy, and honestly, genuine human connection. We're extracting the most important nuggets of knowledge and insight from this thrilling story, giving you a shortcut, sort of, to being truly well-informed about Ling Hu Chong's remarkable path.
Okay, so let's unpack this first bit. Imagine this for a second. You find yourself like gravely injured, completely adrift, physically broken, emotionally shattered.
Yeah, rock bottom.
Totally. Then, suddenly, bam, you become the absolute center of attention for this motley, really rough and tumble crew of martial artists. And they are insanely eager to help you.
Yay.
That's exactly where our protagonist, Ling Hu Chong, finds himself, at this place called Wuba Gang.
And Wubagang itself is, well, it's quite an unusual setting, isn't it?
Yeah, tell us about it.
It's described as this flat, marshy area right on the border of Luanyu provinces. It's like a kind of wild frontier land.
Okay.
And the people who gather there, they're definitely not your typical, elegant sect elites. These are rugged, unique individuals, clearly from what you might call the grassroots or maybe the fringe of the martial world.
So, outsiders?
Outsiders, exactly. They operate outside the established order, and their very presence immediately signals that Ling Hu Chong has kind of stumbled into this unconventional corner of society.
And their efforts to help him are just, well, they're bizarre, almost comically so, right?
Oh, absolutely.
You've got people coming forward with these ancestral healing elixirs that supposedly have, like, the power to bring the dead back to life, passed down through generations.
Right, the family secret weapon.
Then there's this urushi, an old ginseng root that supposedly formed a human-like shape, which is considered incredibly potent in martial arts lore, believed to hold immense life force.
Yeah, the kind of thing you read about in legends.
But the most startling part, and frankly kind of disturbing, they've brought in 7 renowned doctors, but they're bound with ropes. Literally, like a string of frogs.
It's quite the image.
They haven't been politely invited. They've been forcibly dragged there. It really highlights the raw, unrestrained nature of these grassroots figures.
It's an overwhelming welcome, almost chaotic, especially for someone in Ling Hu Chong's condition.
You think he's been through hell.
Exactly. He's been through repeated setbacks.
Yeah.
His life is literally hanging by a thread. He's suffered betrayal, deep emotional wounds, physical torment.
Yeah.
This makes him, easily moved emotionally. He's
Okay.
at his absolute lowest point.
So seeing these guys.
Yeah, seeing these rough, sometimes even fierce-looking individuals, people you'd maybe expect to be hardened and cynical, showing such genuine, undeniable sincerity and concern towards him. He can't help but be deeply touched. He actually bursts into tears, just completely overwhelmed by this unexpected kindness. And he makes this fervent vow, VEE,
Which means
to share fortune and face hardship together. It's a huge commitment. This raw, open, honest nature of his, this willingness to form bonds based purely on genuine feeling. It stands in really sharp contrast to the pragmatic, often self-serving, and let's be honest, hypocritical world of the martial sects he's used to.
that's a great point.
It sets up a central theme right away. Where do you find true loyalty? True camaraderie? Sometimes, maybe often, it's not where you expect.
Okay, but here's where it gets really interesting, because not everyone is thrilled about this outpouring of unconventional support for Ling Hu Chong. His own master, Yu Buquan, is watching this whole scene unfold from a distance, and internally, he's just, well, seething.
Oh, absolutely. Yu Buquan's internal monologue here is incredibly revealing. He thinks Hisho Chonger acts so rashly and willfully, unconcerned with past or future. But listen to the tone. This isn't really concern for Ling Wuchang's well-being. It's pure condemnation of his lack of conformity.
Ah, okay. Reputation over reality.
Precisely. Yu Buquan immediately worries about Ling Wuchang associating with Wu Tishur, people like the infamous Tian Buquan, a known villain, a notorious pervert. For Yu Buquan, it's not about Ling Wuchang's actual character. It's about appearances and alignment, who you're seen with.
Right, the politics of the martial world.
Exactly. He immediately foresees major conflict, knowing that Yu Tuhu, our righteous sect, will seek to eradicate these villains. This moment, right at the beginning, it immediately establishes the central conflict of the story.
Which is?
It's the clash between Ling Wuchang's inherently compassionate, free-spirited, kind of uninhibited nature and the rigid, often hypocritical, and ultimately self-serving rules of his supposedly righteous sect.
Got it.
It's a fundamental critique, really, of moral labels in this martial world. It shows how the so-called righteous often prioritize power and reputation over, genuine virtue.
And the medical attention he gets is just as unconventional and frankly kind of terrifying as his welcome, right? It takes a truly eccentric character to even attempt to treat Ling Wuchang's unique catastrophic injuries.
Indeed. Enter Ping Yizi. He's famously known as the killer physician, or...
Killer physician. That sounds ominous.
But his reputation is legendary and, chilling. He cures one person, he kills one. And if he can't cure you, he commits suicide.
Whoa.
It's this extreme, almost fanatical dedication to his craft. His entrance is dramatic, totally brusque, utterly arrogant. He literally kicks out the other so-called doctors, just dismisses them as completely useless.
Okay, confidence or arrogance?
Both, probably.
Yeah.
It highlights his arrogance, yes, but it also hints at a very real, almost terrifying level of competence that sets him way apart from conventional doctors.
So he gets to work on Ling Wuchang. And his diagnostic process, you said, it's incredibly meticulous, almost ritualistic.
Yeah, he focuses intensely on Ling Wuchang's pulses, feeling them for a really long time. It's clear from the start, this isn't just some simple injury, it's something profoundly complex and unique.
And the diagnosis?
Far from simple. His initial diagnosis is grim and extraordinarily complex. Ling Wuchang has CHO2.
Wait, break that down.
It means 7 kinds of internal energy, qi, right? All from different martial arts sources, conflicting violently inside him. They can't be dispelled, they can't be subdued. Imagine like a hurricane raging inside his body's energy channels.
7 different kinds.
Yeah. This isn't just a physical wound. It's a fundamental internal imbalance, a chaotic mess of different powers literally tearing him apart from the inside. Each energy represents a different martial art he's either learned or absorbed somehow, and now they're in a literal civil war within his meridians.
Okay, that sounds bad. Like, really bad.
It gets worse. Ping Yizi identifies what he calls the AC, the 4 great changes, which have made Ling Wuchang's condition even more complex and abnormal, basically almost incurable.
4 changes. What are they?
Okay, first, misguided tonics. Ling Wuchang, in his desperation, or maybe just naivete, consumed dozens of powerful warming tonics, including precious ginseng.
That sounds like it should help, right? Ginseng is good.
Usually, maybe, but the problem. These specific tonics were meant for women with a purely yin constitution, meant to balance their internal energy. Ling Wuchang, though, already has this excessive, chaotic mix of internal energies raging inside him.
Oh, so wrong medicine.
Terribly wrong. Ping Yizi gives this scathing but really vivid analogy. He compares it to the Yangtze River already flooding, right? A disaster in progress. But instead of diverting the water or controlling the overflow, some incompetent flood control official decides to pour more water in from other massive lakes like Danting and Poyang.
Making it catastrophically worse.
Exactly. It paints this picture of extreme medical malpractice, even if it was self-inflicted by Ling Wuchang taking the wrong stuff.
Okay, that's one. What's the second change?
Severe blood loss, but compounded by his actions. Despite his already critical condition, the internal chaos, Ling Wuchang engaged in repeated, strenuous combat. Lost a significant amount of blood.
Why would he do that?
Well, Ping Yizi sternly scolds him for not cherishing his own life, basically shaking his head at Ling Wuchang's apparent disregard for self-preservation. It's a moment where Ling Wuchang's inherent recklessness, maybe his sacrificial nature, is really highlighted, often to his own detriment.
Okay, number 3.
The third change is linked to a highly potent and dangerous tonic from the notorious 5 Poisons sect. Ling Wuchang drank their Odan, the 5 Immortals Grand Tonic wine.
5 poisons, that sounds friendly.
Notorious for their poisons, yeah. Now, this isn't just any alcohol. This is a highly potent tonic meant to grant immunity to a ton of poisons and significantly increase internal power. But it also have this dual nature. That's greatly tonic, but also greatly poisonous.
Ah, a double-edged sword.
Exactly. And Ling Hu Chong, in his internal thoughts, he notes something even more complicated that Ping Yizi doesn't fully grasp. He thinks,
这个不能补.
my blood contains poison, not necessarily because of the 5 Immortals wine. Blue Phoenix and 4 Miao women transfused blood into me. So this hints at an even deeper, more mysterious layer. A deliberate intervention, maybe. Adding another conflicting energy or poison to his system. It's incredibly complex.
Wow. Okay, so misguided tonics, blood loss, poison wine, plus maybe poisoned blood. What's the fourth?
And the fourth, and arguably the most crucial change, is a profound emotional and spiritual decline. Ping Yizi observes the chilling loss of Ling Hu Chong's his vibrant life force, his will to live.
His will to live.
Yeah, and this connects directly tragically to Ling Hu Chong's internal monologue about his beloved junior sister Yu Linshan losing faith in him, believing he committed crimes he didn't.
Ah, the heartbreak.
Exactly. His physical decline is intrinsically linked to his emotional despair, stemming from what he calls Yin Om, being entangled in deep emotional woes, unrequited love. It's a powerful revelation of the mind-body connection in this world. A broken heart can literally lead to a broken body.
So what's the proposed cure for this mess?
Ping Yizi's remedy is as drastic as his diagnosis. He suggests gathering 7 internal energy masters, including Yu Buquan and himself, to simultaneously draw out the conflicting energies from Ling Hu Chong's body.
7 masters at once. Sounds risky.
Extremely. It would be a dangerous, intricate process requiring perfect synchronization. But then, Ling Hu Chong's reaction to Ping Yizi's conditions for healing: an absolute ban on alcohol, no women, and no fighting, even in self-defense. That's classic Ling Hu Chong.
What does he say?
He laughs defiantly and says, 是，这地方赛估计是东切的体能方，苏西地方估计是看我是很注意，一度共费的区米药，是些从小ही胖个一把马个，to do a teen a who.
Which means?
Basically, life is meant to be lived freely and joyfully. If I can't drink, think of women, or fight back when bullied, what kind of person would I be? Better to die quickly, it'd be more refreshing.
Wow. He chooses potential death over a restricted life.
Absolutely. It defiantly sets up his defining character trait, a complete refusal to compromise his free spirit, his love for living life to the fullest, even at the cost of his own life. He'd rather die free than live constrained.
And the outcome of this refusal?
Shocking.
Yeah.
Tragic. Ping Yizi dies fulfilling his own grim oath. If I cannot cure, I will kill myself.
He actually does it.
Instantly. When Ling Xing refuses the plan, Ping Yizi's jet black hair turns completely white in moments, a horrifying visual of his internal turmoil and commitment. Then he spews blood, collapses, dead. It's a truly surprising, unsettling, powerful moment. It emphasizes the extreme, almost fanatical dedication and rigid codes of conduct in this martial world. Personal honor can literally be life or death.
Even more unsettling than Ping Yizi's sudden death is what happens next, right? The eerie, total disappearance of all the Wuba gang heroes.
Yeah, it's like they just vanish. A swift, silent evacuation that leaves Ling Hu Chong utterly alone once more.
Why? Why do they leave?
It's unnerving.
Right.
Figures like Zhu Qiangqi, Sima Da, Huan Boliu, they furtively approach Ling Hu Chong, almost whispering, begging him not to mention they were ever there or that they offered help.
They give excuses.
Vague, almost comical excuses, like Wang Boliu talking about his daughter-in-law and granddaughter, totally irrelevant stuff designed to distract, but the underlying message is chillingly clear. They're terrified.
Terrified of what? Or who?
Exactly. They scatter like frightened birds, leaving Ling Hu Chong completely isolated. This introduces a subtle but pervasive hidden hand theme. Who are they so afraid of that their fear overrides their professed loyalty to Ling Hu Chong? The hints point towards a powerful, influential figure, someone who paradoxically seems to cherish Ling Hu Chong, but profoundly disapproves of his unorthodox connections, even these grassroots guys.
So someone powerful is pulling strings behind the scenes.
It certainly seems that way. It paints a picture of a world where powerful, unseen forces manipulate events from the shadows.
And this inexplicable abandonment, especially after that big chaotic show of support, that must crush Ling Huchang.
Absolutely. It deepens his already profound sense of isolation and despair. He thinks, though the world is vast, no one cares about my safety.
Heartbreaking.
And the worst part, he concludes that even his master and mistress, who were so dear to him, have abandoned him as if he were a forgotten relic. It's a gut-wrenching moment of complete despair and loneliness. It shows just how deeply he feels the loss of his perceived family, his place in the world. He's not just physically broken. His spirit is crumbling under the weight of utter abandonment.
Okay, so Ling Huchang hits absolute rock bottom. Alone, abandoned, basically dying. But then a beacon of hope appears, or maybe a melody.
Exactly. The enchanting Qingshan Pushanzu, the pure heart purifying incantation, emerges from the very same grass hut he's been sheltering in. It's such a stark contrast to the chaos and despair he's just endured.
And this music, it actually helps him.
It has an immediate, profound effect. It's described as incredibly soothing, bringing him a sense of peace and a spiritual uplift. It literally calms his chaotic internal energies, if only temporarily. It shows the immense power of music, its connection to martial arts in this world.
A moment of grace.
A powerful moment, yeah. But this fleeting peace, it's quickly shattered by new arrivals. Very imposing arrivals, bringing a different kind of chaos.
Who shows up now?
The heavyweights. A delegation of Shaolin and Kunlun masters. Figures like Fang Sheng, Xingu Liang, Yi Guozi. They arrive with this very self-righteous, almost condescending tone.
What do they say?
They declare, "Yea, these demonic deviants dare to run wild in Hainan and state their aggressive intent to Shan, eliminate traitors and drive out demons."
So they see the world in black and white, good versus evil.
Completely, and they believe themselves to be the sole arbiters of justice. They're here to clean house, basically.
And Ling Huchang, how does he react?
This creates an immediate, palpable clash of ideologies. Ling Huchang, remember, he's the abandoned disciple, crippled by injuries, in a precarious state. Yet he stands up to these powerful, righteous figures.
To protect who?
To protect the unknown, elderly woman playing the music in the hut. This act, in direct defiance of some of the most powerful and revered martial arts leaders, is a clear demonstration of his inherent chivalry.
Wow.
His deep sense of justice, his unwavering loyalty to those he perceives as vulnerable, regardless of their reputation or supposed alignment. It's a core aspect of his character that just transcends typical sectarian boundaries. It challenges the very definition of righteousness. He acts on pure instinct, on what he believes is right, not on what's expected by his old sect.
Okay, so what does this mean for him? He's gravely injured, no internal energy, and now he's confronting these top-tier masters from the most prestigious sects. How does he even survive?
Well, what's fascinating here, and this is a crucial nugget of insight for you, is Ling Huchang's unexpected, almost miraculous display of sword skill.
Even without internal energy.
Exactly. His internal energy is completely depleted, a martial artist's greatest disadvantage. But his mastery of the Dugu Nine Swords, or Lonely Nine Swords, lets him operate purely on technique, observation, and insight.
The Dugu Nine Swords. That's special, right?
Very special in Wuxia. It's not about cultivating internal power. It's about understanding and exploiting the flaws that TIG in any martial art, any opponent's moves. It's said to have no form, meaning it adapts fluidly to the opponent rather than relying on fixed techniques.
So he uses that.
He uses the Pojianshi, breaking sword forms, and Pojiangshi, breaking palm forms, to precisely exploit fundamental weaknesses in his opponent's styles.
Like how?
For instance, he precisely, almost magically, pierces Yi Guozi's palm and then his wrist. He targets a hidden flaw in Yi Guozi's defense that no one else could see. Later, he defeats Tianyi Daoist of Mount Tai by exploiting a critical flaw in their famous seven stars falling across the sky move. He just sees the single moment of hesitation or opening in its execution.
So it's about seeing weaknesses.
Exactly. It's crucial to emphasize his success doesn't come from brute force or raw power. It comes from finding the fundamental flaws in his opponent's techniques. His sword is simply faster and more precise than their ability to react to their own ingrained flaws. It highlights intellectual mastery over brute strength.
Okay, that's amazing. But then comes the really surprising fact, right? The old woman's true power and identity.
Right. She suddenly reveals this astonishing martial prowess, kills Xin Guoyang and others with astonishing ease and ruthlessness. It confirms her immense, terrifying power.
And her connections.
Fang Sheng's desperate question, which Taoist from Blackwood Cliff is here, confirms her direct, high-level connection to the notorious demonic sect. Blackwood Cliff is their headquarters.
The demonic sect. Okay, so Ling Huchang is shocked.
Absolutely. His internal monologue reveals his disbelief. Where could this old woman actually be an elder from the demonic sect?
And it gets worse.
The tension escalates even further when Feng Sheng mentions sect leader Dongfeng. That refers to Dongfang Bubai, the most powerful and feared figure in the entire martial world. It highlights her extreme importance, her dangerous connections, and the perilous yet somehow protective web she has now drawn Ling Huchang into.
Wow. So this intense encounter, Ling Huchang defending her, showing his skills, leads to something huge.
It leads to an incredible, life-altering offer. Fang Sheng, the high-ranking Shaolin master, he witnesses Ling Huchang's exceptional sword abilities, and he astutely traces them back to the legendary Feng Qingyang, who was actually a benefactor of Shaolin's own past.
Interesting connection.
Very. And realizing the severity of Ling Huchang's unique internal injuries, Fang Sheng makes a monumental decision. He brings Ling Huchang to the Shaolin Temple, the most revered righteous sect.
That is significant. A gesture of trust or desperation.
Maybe both. It's huge.
And the offer itself is truly unprecedented, right? Shakes the foundations of tradition.
Completely. Fang Zheng, the venerable Shaolin abbot himself, offers Ling Huchang the chance to become a lay disciple of Shaolin, specifically under Fang Zheng himself, and to be taught the ultimate internal martial art, the Yi Jing Jing.
The Yi Jing Jing, muscle and tendon changing sutra. That sounds important.
It's legendary. Said to have originated from Bodhidharma, the founder of Zen Buddhism in China. It's considered the absolute pinnacle of internal cultivation. Its name literally means purifying the tendons and marrow. It's believed to fundamentally restructure and strengthen your internal foundation.
And it can cure him.
It's described as the only way to cure his unique, conflicting internal energies, the ultimate solution to his catastrophic internal chaos.
The significance of this offer. It must be massive.
Cannot be overstated. The Yi Jing Jing is a deeply guarded secret Shaolin art, very rarely taught even to their own inner disciples, let alone an outsider, a disowned disciple from another sect. It represents the absolute pinnacle of righteous martial arts, ultimate power, spiritual purity.
Why him? Why Ling Huchang?
Fang Zheng explains why Ling Huchang is a fated person, or one with affinity. He cites Ling Huchang's connection to Feng Qingyang, his unexpected arrival at Shaolin, and the undeniable fact that his very survival depends on this unique art.
Wow.
And get this, Fang Sheng, the high-ranking monk who brought him there, he confesses that he was never taught the Yi Jing Jing.
Seriously?
Yeah. It emphasizes its exclusivity and the incredible, almost unimaginable privilege being offered to Ling Huchang. It's a hand stretched out from the highest echelons of the righteous world to a supposed outcast.
But what happens next is typical Ling Huchang, right?
No.
And utterly devastating.
Completely. Just as this amazing life-saving opportunity presents itself, a letter arrives, delivered by a Shaolin monk. It's from Yu Buquan, his former master,
Oh, no.
formally expelling Ling Huchang from the Huashan sect. A complete disavowal, publicly severing all ties.
Ouch. What does the letter say?
It's brutal. It accuses Ling Huchang of Su Shu, Uryu having a stubborn nature, repeatedly violating sect rules, and recently associating with demons and villains. A public condemnation designed to completely cast him out.
How does he take it?
The emotional impact is profound, immediate. He describes feeling the world spinning around him. He bursts into uncontrollable tears, feeling that, though the world is vast, there's now no place for him, nowhere he belongs. His foundational identity, his sense of family, ripped away by the person he revered as a father figure.
And here's his truly surprising, almost illogical choice, right? Despite being an outcast, publicly disowned, life hanging by a thread, facing danger from literally all sides, both righteous and unorthodox factions wanting him now,
He refuses the Shaolin offer.
he turns down the Yi Jing Jing, the only cure.
He turns it down. His reason is pure, unadulterated Ling Huchang, a definitive statement of his independent spirit.
What does he say?
Skandini.
How can a true man, unable to stand on his own between heaven and earth, shamelessly seek refuge with another sect to survive? He then lets out this defiant laugh, not of joy, but a fierce, desperate resolve, and just walks away from Shaolin.
Wow. That solidifies his character completely.
It does. It shows his spirit cannot be swayed by convenience, even when it literally means life or death. He'd rather face certain death or a life of wandering and uncertainty on his own terms than owe his life or loyalty to another sect after being cast out by his own.
It's almost suicidal stubbornness.
It is, yet it defines his unyielding integrity. He simply cannot compromise his core belief in self-reliance and freedom.
Okay, so cast out by everyone, seemingly no hope left. Ling Hu-chang's path takes yet another unexpected and truly wild turn. He meets someone even more unconventional than himself, a real maverick.
Exactly. An outsider, even among outsiders. Zhang Wentian.
Xiang Wentian, tell me about him. He's a fascinating, almost elemental character. A powerful figure from the demonic sect, yes, but he's being relentlessly pursued by both righteous and other demonic factions.
So everyone's after him.
Pretty much, making him a true outsider in every sense. He has this wild, almost animalistic nature. It's exemplified by his extreme survival tactics. We see him drinking horse blood for sustenance in the wilderness.
Whoa.
And, maybe more shockingly, using a live human shield for defense when escaping his pursuers.
A human shield, seriously.
Yeah, he embodies this raw, unbridled, utterly pragmatic spirit. Operates far outside any conventional moral code.
What about his abilities? Anything special?
Yes, and he's very explicit about this. He has something called Prusho, the minor earth-sucking skill.
Earth-sucking skill.
He's very careful to state it's not the infamous Piro, the star-sucking great art. That's the dangerous technique where you absorb others' internal energy for your own gain.
Okay, so his isn't that.
No, Zhang Wentian's skill is purely defensive. It lets him divert incoming internal energy directly into the ground, neutralizes an opponent's attack without him keeping any of the power. It provides absolutely no personal benefit to him in terms of cultivation, just a clever, highly specialized defensive trick to save his own skin.
Interesting. And he and Ling Hu-chang, they connect.
Instantly. A powerful bond forms between them. They share this common spirit of defiance, a disregard for conventional norms, and a profound sense of camaraderie, what's known as Yeah, it's this concept of righteousness, loyalty, brotherhood that transcends formal allegiances. Zhang Wentian immediately recognizes Ling Hu-chang's genuine character, his willingness to stand up for others even when injured and outcast, his intrinsic decency despite everything.
So they become friends.
Sworn brothers, a bond forged in shared adversity and mutual respect. This highlights a crucial theme again, finding a chosen family, finding true loyalty outside traditional rigid structures, a family based on mutual understanding, not pre-existing affiliations.
And Zhang Wentian decides to help Ling Hu-chang.
Yes. After this profound meeting, Zhang Wentian takes Ling Hu-chang on a journey. They use various disguises, extravagant spending, all with one singular purpose. Find a cure for Ling Hu-chang's devastating, seemingly incurable injuries.
Where do they go?
Their extraordinary journey, full of intrigue and cunning, leads them to a truly unique and mysterious place. Meizhuang, the Plum Blossom Manor.
Plum Blossom Manor. Sounds nice.
It's introduced as this secluded, beautiful estate, almost hidden from the world. Hints at importance, maybe hidden secrets. Feels like a world unto itself. Inside, they encounter the four friends of Jiang Yan.
4 friends of Jiang Yan.
4 reclusive martial arts masters, each renowned not just for their martial prowess, but for a different, highly refined art form. It's this fascinating blend of high culture and hidden power, an unexpected haven for secrets.
Okay, who were they?
First, there's Dan Qingsheng. He's the painter, and he's utterly obsessed with 2 things, wine and painting.
A man after my own heart. How did they get his attention?
Ling Hu-chang, surprisingly, impresses him instantly with his deep knowledge of wines, a skill he picked up from that unconventional character Zhu Qiangqi earlier.
Really? What does he know?
He accurately discerns the intricacies of a specific vintage, the 4-steamed, 4-brewed Turpin wine. And, to Dan Qingsheng's astonishment, he notes its unusual lack of Oshok sourness.
Which impresses the master painter.
Big time. It prompts Dan Qingsheng to reveal his closely guarded winemaking secret, which he actually got by trading his own sword techniques with a master winemaker.
No way. Trading sword secrets for wine secrets.
Apparently so. And even more remarkably, Ling Hu-chang, despite his weakened state, spots the profound sword intent or spirit of the sword hidden within Dan Qingsheng's seemingly abstract painting.
He sees swordplay in the painting.
Yeah. It further establishes Ling Hu-chang's innate, almost supernatural genius for swordplay, which operates beyond mere physical technique or internal energy. It's a connection forged through shared passion and depth understanding.
Okay, that's one. Who's next?
Next is Heibeizi, the chess master. He possesses the formidable the mysterious Heaven Finger, an internal art so powerful it can literally freeze water with a touch.
Freeze water. Wow. How do they handle him?
Xiang Wentian, proving his cunning again, pretends to be an avid chess enthusiast. He completely captivates Heibeizi by recounting obscure legendary chess matches and weaving tales about the existence of the Vomit Blood Manual.
The Vomit Blood Manual.
A legendary chess manual said to be so difficult and profound that studying it makes masters literally vomit blood from the mental exertion. Xiang Wentian plays expertly on Heibeizi's deep obsession with the game, drawing him into their elaborate scheme.
Clever. Okay, number 3.
Then there's Tubi Wang, the calligrapher. He's utterly obsessed with calligraphy, especially the wild cursive style of the Tang Dynasty master Zhang Shu, a hugely revered historical figure.
How do they win him over? A rare brush.
Even better. Xiang Wentian seals the deal by presenting him with a genuine, priceless Zhangzhou calligraphy scroll, an artifact of immense cultural and artistic value. It drives Tubi Wang into a frenzy of delight and artistic ecstasy.
Xiang Wentian is good at this.
He's a master manipulator, tailoring his approach perfectly to each master's unique obsession.
You mentioned 4 friends, but we've only met 3.
Exactly. It's important to note the narrative initially mentions 4 friends, but only introduces 3 here. This creates a lingering sense of anticipation, a mystery about the 4th friend. It emphasizes the hidden depths of Mei Zhuang.
So this whole thing, Xiang Wentian isn't just asking for help.
Not at all. This careful setup is an elaborate, meticulously orchestrated grand performance. It's designed to ensure Ling Huchang's cure by exploiting the vanity and obsessions of these reclusive masters. His flattery, his strategic use of these priceless artifacts, Fan Quan's painting for the painter, Zhang Shu's calligraphy, even a music score of the legendary Guangling San for the musician friend we haven't met yet, and his cunning understanding of each master's specific obsession. It's all key to his audacious plan.
He really did his homework.
Clearly, he understands their weaknesses and desires perfectly.
So the setup for the ultimate wager, how does that work?
It's truly brilliant.
Huh.
Yang Wentian uses the false identity, Ta Tong Huajin, which means copper turning into gold, a clever false name. He introduces Ling Huchang as Feng Erdzong, a playful breakup of Ling Huchang's real name, Chong, meant to sound unassuming.
Okay.
Then he boldly, audaciously claims that Ling Huchang is Yu Buquan's junior uncle, which is not true, and crucially, the only successor to the legendary Feng Qingyang's peerless sword art.
Elevating Ling Huchang's status immensely.
Exactly. And then comes the gamble, the core of the deception. Xiang Wentian proposes a daring wager, which means,
I bet that no one in Miss Huang can defeat this Brother Feng's sword art. The stakes. Nothing less than the priceless artifacts he just presented. A fortune and historical treasures.
wow. How does he control the fight? Ling Huchang is still injured.
Strategic brilliance. First, he praises Ling Huchang's fake Sunping, Zixia divine skill, the legendary internal art of Huashan. He implies Ling Huchang has immense internal power. This deters opponents from even attempting to use their internal energy against Ling Huchang because they'd be afraid of its supposed overwhelming might. Clever. What else? Even more cunningly, he makes Ling Huchang stand within 2 specific footprints that Xiang Wentian himself leaves on the stone floor. This severely restricts Ling Huchang's movement.
Why do that? It's brilliant. It hides Ling Huchang's devastating internal injuries and his lack of agility. It forces the fight to be purely about mastery of forms and technique, exactly where Ling Huchang's Dugu 9 swords excels. It's a game of deception and calculated risk, all for Ling Huchang's benefit.
And the battles themselves, how does Ling Huchang do?
They're fantastic to read, a true showcase of his unique sword mastery. Against Dingjian, known as Jun, one-word electric sword Ling Huchang, despite his internal weakness, easily spots Tu Ka, 3 major gaping flaws in Dingjian's renowned technique.
Does he finish him?
No, and this is important, he doesn't use his advantage to kill or maim. He shows immense mercy, simply tapping Dingjian's wrist, preventing him from attacking further instead of severing it. It highlights not only the Dudu 9 sword's unparalleled ability to exploit flaws, but also Ling Huchang's compassionate nature. He fights to overcome, not necessarily to destroy.
What about against Dan Qingsheng, the painter?
His subsequent fight against Dan Qingsheng is equally illustrative and dramatic. Ling Hu Chong's swordplay, relying purely on the Dugu Nine Sword's insight, forces Dan Qingsheng, a formidable internal master, into increasingly desperate and clumsy maneuvers. Ling Hu Chong presses him relentlessly until Dan Qingsheng is forced to land heavily on the stone table, breaking glasses, suffering minor humiliation, before being forced to concede defeat.
So the Dugu Nine Swords really works even without power.
These encounters are a powerful testament to its efficacy when wielded by someone who truly understands its essence, finding and exploiting the flaws rather than relying on brute force. It's an intellectual approach to combat, and Ling Hu Chong is its supreme master, even when his body is failing him.
Okay, after those intense, deceptive battles at Meizhuang, where Ling Hu Chong's true genius was really put on display, we circle back, right? Back to the mysterious old woman we met earlier, the one playing the music.
Exactly. The one who played the Kingson Pushanzu for him. And this is where a major, really life-altering revelation unfolds. It completely changes our understanding of Ling Hu Chong's enigmatic companion and sets the stage for a whole new kind of relationship.
Remind us of their first encounter again.
Right. Ling Hu Chong meets her at Wubagang. Initially, he perceives her as this kind, elderly king player. She plays beautiful music that soothes him, calms his chaotic internal energies, shows him profound kindness. But there's always this strange, insistent demand. He must never look at her face.
Adding that layer of intrigue.
Exactly. Keeps you guessing about her true identity, her intentions.
And the shocking reveal is...
The old woman is, in fact, a stunningly beautiful young woman named Ren Yingying.
How does he find out?
It happens quite serendipitously, almost magically. Ling Hu Chong falls into a mountain stream, catches a glimpse of her reflection in the water. Then she herself accidentally slips, revealing her true, youthful, and incredibly striking form. It's a moment of pure narrative surprise, shattering all of Ling Hu Chong's preconceived notions.
Okay, wow. So why the disguise?
That's the immediate question. Yingying, with a hint of playful manipulation, explains she was testing Ling Hu Chong. She wanted to see if he would treat her with respect, kindness, genuine concern, even when she appeared old and ugly.
Testing his character.
Seems so. As Ling Hu Chong muses to himself, with a touch of his characteristic nonchalance, Chi-yush. Basically, she likes to say it that way, so I'll just go along with it. This reveals a playful, yet deeply complex aspect of her character. She likes to control the narrative, even in her personal interactions.
There's more to it, right? Her power.
Oh, much more. It highlights the immense fear and respect she commands throughout the martial world. Remember the Wubagang incident?
Where everyone fled.
Exactly. All those heroes, rough and tough as they were, fled in sheer terror at her mere presence. Some even blinded themselves or accepted exile to a deserted island rather than face her displeasure. This demonstrates the terrifying reputation and the absolute unyielding loyalty she commands as Saint Ant, the revered daughter of the demonic sect's former leader, Ren Wuxing. Her authority is absolute, her power undeniable.
And here's another fascinating, almost perverse twist, right? That completely recontextualizes things. The Kill Ling Hu Chong order.
Yes. Yingying later reveals that her public Kill Ling Hu Chong order, the one that sent shockwaves through the martial world, made him a target for everyone, was nothing but a calculated ruse.
A ruse? Why?
It was a cunning, possessive, and utterly unique romantic gesture. She tells him, with a hint of defiance and deep affection,
Which means?
I told Zhu Qiangku and the others to spread the word to make you stay by my side forever, not leave me a single step.
Wow. That's intense, using a death order to keep him close.
It's a deeply fascinating twist. Demonstrates her cunning, her immense power to manipulate events, and a deeply possessive, yet undeniable, affection for Ling Hu Chong. It really makes you question how love can manifest in the most unconventional, even dangerous ways.
So after this big reveal, how do they interact?
Their dialogue often becomes quite playful, almost childish, which contrasts sharply with the life and death situations they faced and the immense power Yingying wields.
Ling Hu Chong teases her.
Incessantly. Ever the playful rogue, he keeps calling her an old woman, even Otazi, grandpa and grandma.
And her reaction.
Yingying, in turn, feigns anger. She delivers this sharp but affectionate retort.
You don't speak seriously. No wonder your junior sister doesn't want you.
Ouch, but affectionate.
Exactly. It shows this budding, genuine connection, a unique intimacy developing beneath all the danger, the political maneuvering, the grand schemes. It's a relationship built on mutual understanding and a shared sense of humor, despite their vastly different backgrounds.
But despite all these dramatic shifts, the new alliances, this blossoming complex affection from Ying, Ling Huchang's heart is still somewhere else, isn't it?
Absolutely. This is a crucial, deeply human aspect of his character, a profound internal conflict that transcends all the external martial arts drama. His internal emotional landscape remains tethered to one person, Yu Lingshan, his junior sister, his first love.
How do we see this?
We see it vividly when he dreams. He wakes up in tears, reliving this nightmare where Yu Lingshan laughs as Lin Pingxi attacks him. She abandons him in his moment of need in the dream.
And he talks about it.
His heartfelt confession to Ying is incredibly poignant and raw. He asks her, Xianju, which means, I dreamed of Junior Sister. How was she to me? Someone wanted to kill me and Junior Sister ignored me and even laughed. It reinforces the enduring depth of his initial emotional wound, the betrayal and abandonment he felt from Yu Lingshan.
So even with Ying there,
No matter how much is happening around him, no matter how much new support and affection he receives from unexpected allies like Ying, his heart still aches for his Dois. This creates a compelling internal conflict. It shows that even physical healing and powerful new connections don't automatically erase past heartbreaks.
it makes him very human.
Very human, yes. In a world of superhuman abilities and grand martial arts schemes, it highlights that emotional scars can run far deeper than physical ones.
So what does this all mean for Ling Huchang and, for our understanding of this whole rich narrative?
Well, if we connect this to the bigger picture, Ling Huchang's journey is one of continuous, often brutal, change and forced adaptation. It pushes him into new roles, new relationships, outside his familiar, rigid world.
And he finds connections in unexpected places.
Exactly. He finds true camaraderie, unwavering loyalty, even burgeoning love in the most unexpected places among those labeled evil or unorthodox by the very righteous sects that cast him out.
And his swordplay reflects this.
I think so. His swordplay, born of necessity and deep insight rather than raw power, truly reflects his character. Adaptable, resilient, always seeking the underlying truth or flaw in a situation, whether it's a sword form or a person.
Which raises that question for us, the listeners.
Right. How do we truly define who is righteous and who is unorthodox in a world where true character often transcends simple labels? Ling Huchang's experiences constantly blur those boundaries.
He finds good among the bad.
He finds genuine loyalty and profound kindness among those universally labeled evil. And conversely, he finds treachery, self-interest, profound hypocrisy among those who uphold righteousness. It forces you, the listener, to question preconceived notions, look beyond surface appearances to discern true virtue.
Wow, what an incredible deep dive we've had today. We've seen Ling Huchang thrown into the absolute depths of despair, abandoned by those he loved and respected.
Only to find these unexpected allies and a new purpose, really, in the most unlikely of places.
His story is just a powerful testament to resilience, isn't it? And the surprising nature of human connection.
His transformation is profound. From that naive, severely injured disciple, he emerges as this defiant, independent, and insightful master of his own destiny.
Yet through it all.
Yeah, throughout all these changing fortunes, these intense internal struggles,
Mhm.
his genuine nature, his deep empathy, and those remarkable sword skills, particularly the Dugu Nine Swords, they remain constant. They define who he is, regardless of the labels others try to slap on him.
So, the key takeaways from Ling Huchang's winding path. They're really enlightening, I think. We've explored the complex nature of injury and healing, both physical and emotional, right? And how they intertwine.
Showing that a broken heart can be just as debilitating as a broken body.
Yeah. And we've seen the fluid boundaries of good and evil in the martial world. How true character transcends simple labels, and how hypocrisy can lurk behind the most virtuous facades.
And the power of loyalty, even when unasked for, really shines through in his new unconventional alliances.
Yep.
And perhaps most importantly, Ling Huchang's journey highlights this idea that sometimes the greatest strength isn't in conforming or seeking external validation, but in maintaining one's independent spirit, even when facing overwhelming pressure and abandonment.
Which brings us to that final provocative thought for you, the listener.
Right. Ling Huchang, despite his immense new power, his newfound freedom, devoted new allies, he remains tethered to a past love that causes him deep, persistent pain.
So the question is,
When is it truly time to let go of old attachments, even when they have defined so much of who you are? And maybe, can true, holistic healing really begin before that emotional release?
Something to think about. Thank you for joining us on this deep dive. Until next time, keep exploring, keep questioning, and keep an open mind.